Welcome, everyone, to AI Sports Predictor, where the numbers talk and we listen. Tonight, we've got a battle brewing in the East. The Miami Heat against the Atlanta Hawks. Game time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern at State Farm Arena. Let's break it down. Now, let's start with the Hawks. Atlanta, sitting ninth in the East, a 26-30 record to their name. Against the spread, 27-29. Over, under, 3-1-2-3-2. But let's talk recent form. A 3-2 stretch in their last 5, but more importantly, a scorching 7-1 run against the spread. If you've been riding with Atlanta lately, you've been cashing tickets. The bad news: the Hawks are banged up. Larry Nance, V. Krejci, Kobe Buffkin, and Jalen Johnson, out. Jalen Johnson, he's been averaging 18.9 points, 10 rebounds per game. A double-double machine now sidelined. That's no small loss. Trae Young, however, still the maestro, 24 points per game, leading the league with 11.4 assists. The engine of Atlanta's offense still humming. Now, the Heat, 26-28, just ahead of Atlanta in the standings, but they've been ice cold, 1-4 in their last 5. Against the spread, worse, 2-6-1 in their last 9. If you're betting Miami, you're feeling the pain. Kevin Love is questionable. Drew Smith is out. Tyler Herro, the lone bright spot, 23.9 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Andrew Wiggins chipping in with 17.3 points. Let's talk trends. Atlanta plays fast, 7th in the league at 116.6 points per game. But the defense, 26th, giving up 119.1 per game. Miami, opposite story. Slow, deliberate, 24th in scoring at just 110 per game. But defensively, 7th best in the league, allowing 110.7 per game. Last time these two met, the Hawks took it 120-110. Covered the spread, and the game soared over. But here's where it gets interesting. Both teams playing back-to-backs. Both likely running on tired legs. And in their last 13 combined games, a 9-4 trend to the under. So, we arrive at the moment you've been waiting for. The analysis is done, the facts have spoken, the energy shifts, the lights dim, and today's AI pick is under 226. That's it for this one. Stay sharp, stay disciplined, and until next time, keep beating the books. On to Game 2.
And just like that, on to Game 2. The Los Angeles Clippers. The Detroit Pistons. Tip-off at 7 o'clock Eastern inside Little Caesars Arena. Two teams sitting 6th in their respective conferences. Two teams with a shot to make some noise down the stretch. But tonight, we're here for one thing, figuring out where the edge lies. First, let's talk Detroit. 30 wins, 25 losses. And one push on the season. Against the spread? 30 wins, 25 losses, and one push. And they're red hot, riding a 5-0 heater straight up. 5-1 against the number. The Pistons are coming off a 125-110 beatdown of the Spurs. Cade Cunningham? This kid is the truth, 25.4 points, 9.4 assists, 6.3 rebounds per game. But Jaden Ivey? He's out. That's 17.6 points per game missing from Detroit's lineup. Now the Clippers. 31 wins, 24 losses. Against the spread? 31, 23, and 1. But here's the thing, they've been shaky on the road. 12 wins, 14 losses outside of LA. And lately? 2-6 against the spread in their last 8. They just dropped a tough one in Milwaukee, 110-116. No Kawhi Leonard. Amir Coffey and Drew Eubanks? Questionable. But Norman Powell? Balling, 24.2 points per game. James Harden? 21.5 points, 8.6 assists, still controlling the tempo. Let's talk numbers. Detroit? 113.8 points per game, ranking 13th in the league. The Clippers? Just 110.9. Sitting at 21st. But defensively? LA is elite, second best in the NBA, allowing just 108.2 points per game. Now, history. The Clippers have owned Detroit, 10 straight wins outright. But against the spread? The Pistons have been covering. 7-1 against the number in their last 8 matchups. The under? 5-2 in their last 7. But here's the kicker, both teams are coming off back-to-backs. The Clippers, second straight road game. The Pistons, coming home from Atlanta. And both teams? Absolutely lighting it up offensively. Pistons have cracked 125-plus points in 3 straight. Clippers? 120-plus in 3 of their last 4. So, we've crunched the numbers. We've laid out the facts. Now it's time, the moment you've been waiting for, and today's AI pick is, over 223.5. That's 2 down, but we're not done yet. On to Game 3.
And just like that, onto Game 3. The Brooklyn Nets. The Washington Wizards. One team clinging to hope, the other drowning in despair. The tip-off. 1 o'clock Eastern, and we're diving straight in. Let's start with Brooklyn. 21 wins, 35 losses. Coming off a 105-103 road win over Philadelphia. A game where they shot 51% from the field, 25% from deep. Cameron Johnson dropped 23 points, 4 assists. Nick Claxton, 16 points, 9 rebounds. And defensively, the Nets held Philly to 42% shooting, 26% from beyond the arc. That's how you win on the road. Now Washington. 9 wins, 47 losses. That's not a typo. A team that's barely keeping the lights on. Just got demolished 110-90 in Orlando. Shot 41% from the field, 26% from 3. Jordan Poole. 16 points, 4 assists. Carlton Carrington off the bench. 13 points, 5 boards. And defensively, Washington let Orlando shoot 44% from the field, 34% from 3. That's a blueprint for disaster. Injuries. Brooklyn Russell, Clowney Thomas out. Washington. Dave Middleton, Sarf Smart out. Brogdon. Questionable. Now the key numbers. Over their last 6 home games, Washington is giving up 122.9 points per 100 possessions with a net rating of -14. And the result? 6 straight home losses. Brooklyn. Last 3 games. 115.2 points per 100 possessions with a plus 12.3 net rating. The gap is growing. And let's talk recent betting trends. The Nets. 11-4 against the spread with rest advantage. 7-3 against the number on the road against losing teams. The Wizards. 2-7 against the spread in back-to-back games. That's ugly. So, after crunching the data, breaking down the film, and looking at the trend sizes where we land. And today's AI pick is Brooklyn -3.5. That's 3 down. But the night is far from over. On to Game 4.
And here we go, on to Game 4. The Denver Nuggets. The Indiana Pacers. A clash of 2 teams, 2 conferences, and 2 different styles. Tip-off at 7 o'clock Eastern. Let's get to it. First, the Nuggets. 37 wins, 20 losses. Coming off a 123-100 blowout loss at home against the Lakers. A game where they shot 40% from the field. 39% from deep. Aaron Gordon? 24 points, 5 rebounds. Russell Westbrook. 17 points. 4 boards off the bench. But the problem? They let the Lakers shoot 50% from the field, 39% from beyond the arc. That's not going to cut it. Now, Indiana. 32 wins, 23 losses. They just torched the Clippers. 129-111. Shot 55% from the field, 33% from 3. Tyrese Halliburton. A monster night, 29 points, 12 assists. Aaron Nesmith. 19 points, 6 rebounds. And defensively? The Pacers held LA to 45% shooting, 25% from deep. That's getting the job done. Injuries? Denver, Kankar and Watson? Out. Gordon and Murray? questionable. Indiana, Johnson and McConnell? Also questionable. Now, the key numbers. Denver, in their last 3 road games, is averaging 126.2 points per 100 possessions with a net rating of plus 8.7. Indiana, in their last 5 at home, 124 points per 100 possessions with a plus 6.3 net rating. And offensively? Indiana is shooting 49% and putting up 124.4 points per game in that stretch. But the betting trends tell a different story. Denver, 8-12 against the spread as a road favorite. 3-5 against the number with rest advantage. And Indiana? No travel. No fatigue. So, we've lined up the facts, broken down the data, and the conclusion is clear. And today's AI pick is Indiana plus 5.5. That's 4 down. But we're not stopping now. On to Game 5.
And here we go, on to Game 5. The Portland Trail Blazers, the Utah Jazz, 2 teams at the bottom of the West, but tonight, somebody's got to cash a ticket. Tip off at 9 o'clock Eastern. Let's get into it. First, Portland, 24 wins, 33 losses, but coming off a 141-88 demolition job over Charlotte. And get this, 59% shooting, 47% from 3. Anthony Simons, 25 points, 4 assists. Shaedon Sharpe off the bench, 20 points, 14 rebounds. Pure dominance. Now, Utah, 14 wins, 42 losses. But they just took down Houston, 124-115. Hit 50% from the field, 32% from 3. Keontae George, 30 points, 8 rebounds off the bench. Lauri Markkanen, 23 points, 10 boards. And defensively, Utah let Houston shoot 44% from the field, 40% from 3. Injuries. Portland, Ayton, Minaya, Thibault, out. Williams, probable. Utah, Clarkson, Collins, Sexton, out. Kessler and Markkanen, questionable. Now, let's talk the numbers. Utah, in their last 7 at home, is averaging 115.1 points per 100 possessions with a plus 1.7 net rating. Portland, in their last 3 road games, giving up 127.3 points per 100 possessions with a negative 17.8 net rating. And in their last 5, they're allowing opponents to shoot 50.1% from the field. Utah, on the other hand, hitting 49% in that same span. And when it comes to betting, the Jazz have covered 6 of their last 7 at home. Ayton's absence, a massive defensive concern for Portland. So, after breaking it all down, crunching the numbers, and following the trends, today's AI pick is Utah plus 4.5. And now, let's run it back, your 5 AI picks for tonight. Miami Heat vs Atlanta Hawks, under 226. Los Angeles Clippers vs Detroit Pistons, over 223.5. Brooklyn Nets vs Washington Wizards, Brooklyn minus 3.5. Denver Nuggets vs Indiana Pacers, Indiana plus 5.5. Portland Trail Blazers vs Utah Jazz, Utah plus 4.5. 5 games, 5 picks. Now it's up to you to make the right play. If you want more of the sharpest AI-driven analysis, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. AI Sports Predictor signing off. See you next time.